Hey guys, so I've been back to Jiu-Jitsu now for a few months, and to say that I've been rusty is an understatement. I mean, I've been playing like super defensively for the last couple of months, just because I haven't felt loose enough in my game, and I still have a little bit of anxiety before I train. And I put way too much pressure on myself. So I've noticed that I haven't let myself go in training. So I haven't been having quite as much fun than as I could be having. But I'm going to change that. I'm working on that. And that defensive play, it's something that I look out for, especially because of how that can affect me in everyday life and how I approach problems, how I deal with the issues in my life, whether or not I take risks, right? If I'm always playing defensive in my life, I'm not going to take some risks that could lead to good opportunities. But besides being rusty, what I found is that the game has advanced so much in the last few years. The techniques are different. The names I've never heard of before. My coach was pretty much an old school coach, and my game is about pressure. And it seems like everything is, if it doesn't have a spin in it, you're not upside down, then it's not modern jiu-jitsu. That's what it feels like these days. But I'm loving it. I'm loving learning all the techniques, and I'm loving rolling with the younger guys, and seeing how good these blue belts and purple belts are now compared to the way they were a few years ago. The standards have definitely gotten higher. And I think that has a lot to do with the instructors I'm working with Van and Alex from Master Skya. They have become amazing instructors. They were teammates of mine. We came up together, but they've evolved so much over the years. During the time that I was taking a break, they were learning how to break down techniques better. They were learning the newer techniques, and they were perfecting their teaching. And I'm really amazed every time I watch them teach and break down techniques. And a lot of the details are things that I just overlooked over the years. Even for basic stuff, sometimes there are little details that we catch. Even though we've been doing the technique for a long time, all of a sudden there's something that makes it way better for us. And it's about keeping an open mind, and I'm grateful that I've been able to do that. Put my ego aside as best I could. Of course, I'm still human, but I try to leave my ego aside. And when I take my licks, I take my licks, and I understand that my time on the mat isn't what it used to be, and that these guys are training not just every day, but sometimes 2 or 3 classes a day. So, I kind of grade myself on a curve now. But I'm still having fun. I'm still doing my best, and I feel like a white belt again. And I think that should be what martial arts is all about. I think during that long process and the journey that we're on, we should eventually go from white to black to white again. And really, that's what it was about when the belt was faded, when that black belt faded all the way back to white. That journey was full circle. But there's always still more to learn, right? Even when that journey does come full circle, there's more to explore, and especially in jiu-jitsu, so much more so than in other martial arts, I think, than traditional combat sports. The game changes so much. There's so many ways to contort the human body and to control someone physically that you're never going to run out of techniques. You're never going to be able to learn everything. And that's the great thing about learning from different people over the course of your training, is that you learn different styles, and there's always something that one person knows that another person doesn't know. And that's the way that you grow. I think I limited myself a lot early in my training because I stuck with one instructor for so long and didn't really train at other places much because I was so loyal. And I think that in one respect, I'm glad I did that, but in another, I know that it limited me somewhat to my exposure to new techniques. But now I'm certainly getting all the new techniques that I can digest. And I have ADHD, so sometimes I have to see the technique multiple times to get it, more than the 3 times that usually they're demonstrated. So sometimes it's I see the technique 3 times, I see the demonstration 3 times, and I still don't get it until I actually do the technique, and then I'll be surprised that I actually do know how to do it. So that's an interesting thing about the way I learn. But I'm enjoying being a beginner again. I hope that I continue to enjoy it, and I hope that I'm doing jiu-jitsu until the day I die. So I hope your training's going well. I'll talk to you next time.